Bigfoot Club for life, homie.
Hey everybody, Robert Jesse Dominguez, Bigfoot Club, Season 4, Episode 2. We're going to continue the second part to 7 minutes. I wanted to make a correction from the last episode. I was talking about podcasts and I made a goof on one of them and I wanted to make a correction. The podcast that I was talking about was In the Shed with Wes Anderson. Wes, please forgive me. I wanted to make a correction on that, so I hope everybody enjoys this next episode. Thank you for listening. Yeah, because
that's what you did too.
It's just one of those things that, when I was at Baylor, they made me go through speech therapy because, I think a portion of my left side of my face was kind of droopy a little bit, and they were kind of concerned, because it almost looks like I had a stroke or something. But really, I think it was just the nerves. The nerve from Guillain-Barré.
That's another thing they tested too. They're to see if there was any sign of strokes.
Yeah.
Whenever the brain swelling and any sign of stroke, and they said no, he had no stroke, no brain swelling. Wow.
So they would put me through these puzzles and these word associations, and they would read a paragraph to me, and I had to listen to all the details. They would ask me, okay. They'd read the whole paragraph to me and then would read, okay, what hotel was it? What day was it? Was it raining? And I had to come back and tell them what it was. And I didn't blink on anything. I did all the puzzles. I did all the word association, and the speech therapist goes, Mingus, you're fine. I don't even know why. I goes, I'm going to release you. And so she ended up releasing me soon. And so, which meant I had more time for occupational therapy and physical therapy. And so, I was at Baylor until I think July 16th, and then I got released to go to another place, a skilled nursing facility in Grand Prairie, and I went there, and I was there for a couple months, and I think at that time I was really in a dark place, and I was not, I was pretty depressed on where I was at, and I just wanted to give up, and I just want to say that I wanted to thank you for just being positive and just pushing me to do stuff, because because you saw me, I don't pride myself in, breaking down and just seeing that side of me. And I just, I don't know. I was just in a dark place, and with you and family support and friend support, I pushed through. And, I think you would send me pictures of the boys all the time. You and Blair would send me pictures of the boys. And, so at that point, I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to motivate the hell out of myself. So, the physical therapy people were great. They would come get me, but they would want me to go do it myself. So they say, hey, when you're ready to, come to the physical therapy room, we'll start. And I go, okay. So at this point I was, getting myself out of bed, and Steve was helping me, and I was transferring myself on a sliding board, and I would wheel myself over there, and I would do the exercises. And then, I said, you know what? I'm going to do more. So I started doing more. And so the physical therapy would tell me, hey, you need to slow down. I said, well, you shouldn't tell me that, because I'm going to do more. So after I would do physical therapy, I'd go back to my room and I would do more exercises. I'd move my legs more. And I think there was times when I was tired. I would ask you, I say, hey, move my legs for me. so you would sit there and you would move my legs and stuff just so I can get movement. So, that was pretty funny just to do that.
Yeah. And I'm going to whenever you got out of that dark place, and, there's two things that I'll be safe and I'll say there's three things that really pissed me off during that time. The first thing was whenever you were in Baylor, they kept telling me, do not cut his food. The only thing you can do is open his drink and get everything set up, but he needs to do it. And I told you this a couple of weekends ago, how I never told you that before that. I said it broke my soul seeing you struggle to eat.
Yeah.
Your hand, you're just seeing you trying to grab the spoon was already, I was like, I looked at her and she was looking at me, he's like, no. And I was like, and so I waited till she left. I go, fucking screw this, man. I grabbed, and that was whenever I was helping you feed you, and I was letting you grab the, I think it was the milk, the Sierra Mist, and bring it to your mouth, and you were able to drink. And I was letting you do all that, but it just broke me that I didn't. I my goal there was to not let you get any deeper in a dark place than where you're at, because trying to feed yourself is discouraging, and you can't do it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's discouraging alone right there. At the time you couldn't go to the bathroom, you couldn't take a shower, you couldn't do any, like, the simplest things that we take for granted that we do all the time, and that to be cut off from that, and then you're trying to eat and you can't even do that. I was not going to allow myself. So I even though they told me not to do it, I just, what, screw that. I'm gonna cut, because they were giving you, like, steak or something like that, and I'm not gonna see you struggle.
Yeah.
You're gonna get tired.
Yeah, that's a really bad thing about GBS, is that it tires the heck out of you. I mean, you can, like, I would get tired, like, trying to put on my socks or putting on some shorts, and that's just, like, it would take me, like, 25 minutes to put on socks and shorts, and that was tiring.
Yeah.
And to cut food, that was tiring too. And
I mean, you were still learning how to sit up too.
Yeah,
to hold yourself up.
I mean, because I think at that point I couldn't feel from my elbow to my hands, and I couldn't feel from my hips down to my feet. I couldn't feel those. I could see it move. I could move them, but I couldn't feel them, and that was really discouraging. And so I couldn't really tell when I was grabbing the fork or the spoon. I couldn't tell, and I couldn't control it. I couldn't control it where I wanted to go, and it was like it was like trying to feed somebody like in the dark. You don't know where to go with it. So it was pretty tough.
Yeah, no, it's on my state, I can only imagine, but just seeing it alone was terrible. The second thing that pissed me off, I know you say, like, the nurses at the new place were great, and they were, but the place itself, it just was just not. It was not Baylor. It was not at its again, the people there are great. They got you where you needed to go to the next step. But I was when I first went there, I was pissed.
Yeah, I know.
And then the third part was seeing you break down.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't feel safe. You didn't feel like how you felt with Baylor, and you were just getting so comfortable with Baylor, and you were so scared that, and then I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything to save you from that.
Yeah.
And I was mad, and I think Blair was there, and the boys were there too, and I was already mad. The boys were just being boys, they're 4. Anything they asked, I was already getting irritated. And she was like, well, his stuff is in the van, or in the back of the van. Let's go get it. And I went outside, and I think I punched the van, and I screamed.
Yeah.
And she was already out there, and she goes, hey, you need to calm down. I was like, no, like, the place smells like piss. The hallways are like, they look like they've just been renovated, and like everything is wrong. There's so many red flags here, Blair. And why did he get transferred here? What happened? And I was so angry. I didn't know who to be angry at. I was just angry. And I go, and he broke down in front of me. I was like, Blair, he broke down in front of me. I've never seen him break down. I have never seen it. Like, when my mom passed away, you were so strong. I don't know how you were strong. When Grandpa passed away, you were strong. Then seeing you I was like, there's something wrong here, that we need to do something. I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean, and I couldn't grab anything to just pinpoint me where I needed to go. And
I think at that time, I'm if I had to go back and track and go back and do it again, I wouldn't have done that. But it's just
but you're only human, right?
Yeah,
like
I had so much emotion, and I tried to keep it, and I couldn't do it, and it was tough.
Yeah, no, I think I told you don't feel ashamed that you cried. Like, you have every right, like, you had every right. And now I kept telling you that. I go, don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel this, don't feel that. Like, just don't, like, just let it all out, because, you need to get it out. You you can't hold that in. You just can't, because it's just gonna. I think it was probably going to hinder your progress and your motivation. And you let it all out, and you ate. I think you were hungry too. That's whenever they brought you dinner, and you ate. It was like
a hot
it was
dog.
like some type of a meat sandwich. I don't know what it was, but you grabbed, like, you were struggling to grab the fork, and you just said screw it, and you grabbed it with your whole hand, and you just ate it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is it good?" And you just gave that look already, like you always gave me, like, it's food.
Yeah, I was
like, okay, all right.
I think at that time too, I was having a hard time going to the restroom, and
Yes.
and I was kind of, and I'll be open about this because I'm, this is unrestricted. I was kind of embarrassed to ask you to help me to use the restroom when, and I was telling you, I said, no, I'll just call the nurse, and you were saying, no, I'm going to help you. And I'm going to help you, give me this, let me do this for you. And I said, okay. And I just gave in like really quick. I said, okay, I'll let you do it. So,
yeah, because you were really, and that's understandable. I think I'd probably do the same thing to Blair, to the boys, to you probably. But you changed my diapers when I was a baby, so
yeah.
I mean, but no, I think what finally got through, because I kept trying to do it at the hospital. You didn't let me do it. I think I did. You did let me finally do it at the hospital, but I said, I go, please give me this, because mom didn't let me. My mom didn't let me do it, and I felt so bad that I couldn't help her, and she had to lay there. I go, please let me do this for you, please. Let me redeem myself on this, because I should have pushed more.
As soon as you told me that, I said, okay, do it.
Yeah, you just gave in, and I'm so glad you did. And I'm very proud that I was there to help you through just peeing.
Yeah, because GBS,
that's all you can do.
Yeah, GBS, it takes away, not only that it stops your muscles, it stops your intestine muscles too. So I had a really hard time going to the restroom all the time, but anyway, that's
But you could also say too, I was your good luck charm every time I showed up.
I went to town. Yeah, I went to town.
Yeah.
Every time Steven showed up, I went to the restroom extensively. So
like a crazy amount.
Yeah, it was good. I said, hey, you gonna come tonight?
Yeah,
are you
gonna be able to show up tonight?
Because I'm gonna go to the restroom. But it was good. It was a good time, and I think at that time I was released from this physical therapy place, skilled nursing facility, on August the 7th, and I came home to stay with my older brother Raymond and his wife Carol, in which Carol's like, I got to do a shout out to her, because she was like a pit bull. She was like a mad dog, and anytime somebody mistreated me or the insurance company tried to screw me over, she was there, and she was there just like a pit bull, and she was on everybody, and she would not let up at all, and she took the care of me so well. Her and Raymond treated me so good. I can't say enough good things about them, because they're like my guardian angels. I mean, you're my guardian angels, but they were on stuff, and when I needed them to be on stuff, they were on stuff. So and I came home to live with them in August the 7th. And I was still in a wheelchair, and at that point, I started doing physical therapy with this guy named Juan. No relation to our co-host Juan Valdez, but he was when I got with him, he was like my Mr. Miyagi. He was telling me stuff about whenever you do something, think about it. Think about doing this with your leg. You're gonna move your leg. Think about your quad. Think about your calf. Think about your ankle. About all these muscles moving, and don't just count and do the exercise. Think about moving it, because at that time I couldn't move my ankles or my toes that much, and he would tell me, because just thinking about it is exercise. So even if you can't move it, do it anyway. And so I would do it, and I started moving stuff left and right, Steven, nobody's business. I mean, I would tell you every day when I was doing something. I go, hey, I stood up today, or hey, I moved from the wheelchair to the bed by myself without a sliding board. And when I was talking to you on the phone, I would be moving my legs. I'd be doing scissors, or I would be moving my feet like I was running or something. I was always exercising, always moving. So about around September I was showing my older brother Raymond. I was showing him because I was like, I was being helped to go to the restroom, and I didn't like that. And so I was in my room by myself, and like I pulled the wheelchair over to this potty chair that I had, and I would like try to stand up and try to maneuver myself over to it by myself because I didn't want anybody to help me anymore. And so I just stood there. I said, I'm going to stand, see how long I can do it. So I stood up for like maybe a minute by myself. Nobody in the room, nobody helping me. If my physical therapist is here, he's probably going to be really pissed. But anyway, I would do it, and like I would show Raymond, like I think he got home from work, and I showed him. It was just me and him too. I stood up like in a chair, and I go, look, I can stand. I was showing him, and he's looking at me. He goes, all right, that's cool. He walks over and grabs the walker and goes, let's see if you can walk. And I didn't even think about doing that. I was just happy I could stand. And so I started walking, like I said, oh my God, I'm walking. And so I walked with the walker, and this was like late September. And I think my physical therapist, I told him, I said, hey, I'm walking with a walker. And he goes, really? And so he started like making me do exercises with the walker and stuff. And that same day, I walked him with the walker to the door, and he left. And I think I called you I think you were the first person I called. I turned the walker toward the door, and I was like down this hallway. It's probably like 8-9 feet long, this hallway. And I walked down the hallway by myself. I didn't touch the wall. I think it was like 8 steps. I walked, and then I turned around really slowly, and I grabbed the wall, and then I walked back to the walker, and then I walked myself back into the room, and I called you. Hey, I just took 8 steps. And I was like, I called my mom and Raymond. I told everybody, I took 8 steps by myself. So
I think it was 16 steps actually.
Yeah, it was 8 steps that way. Then but it was like 8 completely on my own. Mm-hmm. And like I was just waiting. I said, I'm gonna fall, but I didn't do it. And oh man, that was like, I mean, this is like my Super Bowl. This is like my Stanley Cup. This is my like NBA Finals, my World Series, everything all rolled into one. And like in late September, I was walking with a walker. By the time October rolled around, I was using a cane. And by the time November rolled around, I was off the cane, and I was just walking on my own. So as of right now, today, I am walking like with no problems. I still have some numbness like in my toes and the front part of my feet, but it's slowly coming back. And so I've been walking and I'm actually back at work now. I started back work this past week. So my first week of work have been this week, and so it's been good. My feet's been hurting, but I'm happy I could feel it. So I'm really, really, really happy about that. So I have worked extremely hard to get to walking before 6 months. And then my goal, that was one of my goals, was to walk before 6 months. And my second goal was to make it back to work before the end of the calendar year. And I've accomplished both. And so I'm extremely happy, and the support I've had with my family, my friends, my coworkers, it's been great. And I can't say enough good things about everybody that's been involved, who's put their hands on me, who's prayed for me, who's texted me, who's asked like family members and friends about me. Thank you everybody for doing it, because it's you really know who your friends and family are whenever something like this happens. And like everybody that's negative and not good people, they've already worked themselves out of my life. And I'm just grateful for all the people that are nice and great and just supportive of me. So I can't say enough good things about that.
Yeah, when you you hit the nail on that one. Like if you just surround yourself with if you surround yourself with negative people, nothing positive is gonna come out of it. Literally. Yeah. So if I mean, you just know who the people who actually who are actually there in your life, and who are the ones that don't show up when situations like this. and you just it's disappointing, and it's very, very it's just what can you do? You can't really change a person's perspective on how they should.
Yeah.
Just be there. Just show up. Like,
Be accountable.
it's the same thing. It's be accountable. Show up. Be there. And it's just. I'll just take it as a blessing in disguise, and you were riding that current, and sometimes things that shouldn't be with a certain, like, shouldn't be attached to you, end up going a different current way and ride their own wave. So I'll just say that, and I'm just so glad that you were able to accomplish probably one of the difficult thing in life. You came back. That's just a goal and triumph on its own. 7 minutes. I think that's like, it's just 7 minutes. When you think of 7 minutes, like, man, that's nothing. You take a 7 minute nap. That's nothing. You're like, man, like, that wasn't nothing. But those 7 minutes of you gone was probably the longest thing I've ever had to. It felt like just time stopped. Time stopped, and I couldn't breathe, and it just felt like a part of me was leaving with you, and I just could not keep my composure and be strong for the boys, and I felt so embarrassed. Like, I think later on I told my therapist this. Like, I told her, like, I'm not a good dad. Like, I couldn't even keep myself, like, strong for the boys, and they were, like, worried about me, and she was like, how can anybody be strong during that? Like, what you did was show your boys that it's okay to be sad, to let those emotions out, and that's healthy. That's, because one thing that she always pointed out, and she said, that I guess Dominguez boys, the old generation Dominguez boys, from what you have told me, have just put so much trauma in their life bag, and they just didn't process it.
Yeah.
And you coming back, I devoted myself to change that and to let stuff out.
Yeah.
I was already learning how to do that, but I think when you coming back and everything, I was just making some small changes here and there, and I think we worked together on it too, because you already know.
Yeah. And I don't want to say I'm really, really proud of you for doing that, because I know in the past you've kind of bottled some stuff up, and I know I've tried my best to talk to you, but when you're ready to talk, you're ready to talk, and I think you talking to your therapist and going through this, it's kind of helped you open up a little bit more, and I'm really proud of you, and I think I know if your mom was here, she'd be really proud of you too. So I can just say that, because I know if Grandpa was here, he'd be proud of you too. So I mean, I think you're a really good dad. You're a really good nephew. You're a good husband. If I used to tell. People used to ask me this question all the time. He goes, "Don't you wish you had kids?" People ask me that all the time, and I said, "Well, I have one. It's Steven. If I had a kid that was half as cool as you, that would be all right with me in my heart. Because you were such a good kid, and I know we joke all the time about, you say all the time, when the boys throw up, and you say, I am glad I never did that, and I just go, okay, whatever. So, but you're such a good kid, and you're good. You've been a good nephew, and I've always been proud of you. And I know Juan has said it to you. Like, he said to me a bunch of times that he's proud of you, and he wishes that some of his kids were like you. And I know he said that, and I can say that honestly. And
yeah,
I
you never spanked me.
No.
I'll clear the air on that. I don't know if any joke.
I'm gonna loop this, and whenever something comes up, I'm gonna play this back for you. So,
yeah, you never spanked me. You and Grandpa, yeah, you and Grandpa never spanked me. You just gave that look. I don't know what it is, and I hope I can, channel that look and do it to the boys because it's. There are times where I had to pat him on the butt, and just like, hey, listen,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that. I want to, ever since the whole therapy thing, I don't want to spank. I don't want to use that as a excuse to control a child whenever they're going through a tantrum or not understanding. It should never be a thing. So, you and Grandpa always gave that look, and that's all it took.
Yeah.
That's all it took. I think that was probably that was like a spank to my soul. And it set me straight,
And it worked, right?
and I know as I grew older, and as I if I did something like high school or something that you just were disappointed at, you would let me know on that, and that was worse than grounding. That was worse than spanking. That was just man, I disappointed Robert. I can't believe I just did that. Like,
I was, to be honest, I was the same way with Grandpa, and like he would get disappointed in me, and I was like, oh man, because I grew up in Oak Cliff, and there was like a bunch of gangs around there and drugs and stuff, and people would try to get me to sell drugs and stuff, and I go, man, I'm more scared of my dad than you. Whatever, I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'd give me the same look too, and I was like, man, I just couldn't bear myself not to disappoint him, so I didn't want to never do it. So I never did. So I think I channeled through me, and it channeled to you. So it was just one of those things. So
I hope I can get that.
You will. It'll get there.
Yeah, because when you give that look, it's that's all it takes. That that you're like I leveled up. I leveled up, and I don't have to yell. I don't have to spank or anything. Having to use that as a way to get the boys in line.
Yeah, Sebastian.
That's all you need is a look.
He's a character, and he's gonna do a little run right here. Hold on.
Bigfoot Club for life, homie.
That's Sebastian doing a soundbite for me. He's actually such a trooper. And I was asking him, hey, do this soundbite for me, and he would do it like in one take. He would do it in one take. He'd do that, and like this is another one he did.
You ain't got nothing on me, playa.
So he's like he's gonna grow up to be like in theater or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, he's very, very, very dramatic in a way.
He's just like his mom.
Yeah, he's just like you, Blair. If you're listening, he's just like you, and you already know that. I tell you that almost every day. He does something that is just way out of the why. But yeah, it's we need to get Ricardo to stop laughing and to actually get some sound bites in.
He's done a couple, but I haven't edited those yet. I got to edit those and add them onto here. So, but we're a minute and 32 seconds in.
Minute and 32 seconds in. Wow, almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean that's what happens whenever you're having fun. Even though this is not. I kept telling myself when we were going to talk about this, I was not going to cry, and I couldn't hold it in.
Yeah,
every time
I couldn't either. So
every time I bring this up, I tear up when I bring it up at work, and I always talk to Sam. Sam is my manager.
She's great, by the way. She's great.
She's great. She took care of me, and I'm just very, very happy that I have a manager like that. But that's another thing I wanted to get into. I'll just be quick on it because this show. It's about you on air, but
but she supported you at the time that you needed, so it's great. I mean, I'm grateful that she was there. I'm grateful for Blair's family that was supportive to you during this time because that's what I needed. I needed someone to support you, and if you didn't have that, man, that would kill me. And literally, So sorry.
Yeah, the wrong choice of words there, but yeah, again, like I said, this show is about you. I'm not trying to take the spotlight on that, but
right,
a couple. Another person that was there for me was my good friend Jabron, and
that's another show we can do.
Yeah. But she was there for me on that.
Yeah,
she was there for me, and Oh man, I don't know. It's amazing how you have to, how something like that, something traumatic happens like that, and like with you, with Victor, with Bethel, and with Jabron, like, or something like, just anything like that, and it could not. I'm not talking about me, but you lose somebody in life, it's so hard to go back to work.
It is.
It's so hard to go back into that rhythm of what you were doing when that person was here, and then they're not here, and you're trying to get back in that rhythm. And she understood it so much. I love her. She understood me so much.
I don't know her, but I love her because
Sam. Sam is a good manager. We always joke around a lot. And another thing that she gets brownie points on is that she loves Deftones and she loves 311.
Hey, I like her even more now. So
yeah. So, but she there was a couple times at work where I snapped. Like I think there was a couple times like whenever I went back to work after the situation with you, I snapped, and then the recent loss I had.
Yeah.
She took me outside and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No," no, I'm not okay. And I didn't mean to lash. She's like, "No, you're fine. You're fine." She's take your time, just have a break, blah blah blah. Like just the prep talk that she gave me. But she's a great manager.
Yeah, I got to meet her. I got to meet her. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I need to eventually bring you up there one day, and they'll just know. They'll know. Like Esteban was there for me too. Charlie was there. Alex was. My whole team was there. They stepped up when they didn't have to. You just go there to get paid, but she they all did a good job of making sure that I was okay and making sure to cover for me.
And I'm grateful for that. I'm super grateful for that because that's I mean because you especially you and me we've been through so much, and people who know us they know all the loss that we've had, and people always ask me how do you get past this? Like, you don't get past it. I mean, you're always going to think about people that you lost, and they're always going to be in your, because like, there's not a day goes by I don't think about your mom or, my your grandpa and my dad and, my friend Bartek and your friend, friend that just recently passed away is just, your brother and your stepdad. You think about them all the time. You don't never forget them. They're always in your thoughts, and, I'm sober to this day since 2006 because of your mom, and I honor her for that. And then she asked me to stop drinking, and I stopped drinking. And I to me it's like I honor her doing that. So,
it's and that's another. You're just full of accomplishments. You've done so much, and I know you're gonna say I love you and I love the boys, but you could have just been like, I raised you, I got you where you need to be, you're your own man. Like I don't need to. As mean as that sounds, I know you would never do that, but I don't need to take care of the boys. You did, and there were times when I didn't know what I was doing, and you just stepped in, and there were times where I would be so tired, and you let me sleep.
Yeah,
there were times where I couldn't do something, or I forgot my lunch or something. You just stepped in. You just brought me lunch or something like that. Like you were there in so many ways, and to lose you for 7 minutes, I felt like I was just, like I said, like I was losing. Like the only person that I know that my mom channels all her energy through angels that she sends to me, and I know you're a big channel.
Yeah.
A lot of good people that were in my life after she passed, like they came in, she sent them my way, and she got me where I am today through those people. She was still able to do that. Mm-hmm. And there was, I think when the boys were born, I think I was crying because I think I told you too. I was like, I wish my mom was here to just to see her reaction,
Yeah.
just to see her be so excited to be a grandma. Because I know she would have just loved. She would have been there every day.
Yeah, if she was there, I would never hold the boys. I would just say that right now. I would never get a chance to hold the boys because she would hold them the whole time.
Yeah, and I think that's whenever I was like, man, now that I'm thinking about my mom, I forgot what she sounds like. I forgot what she sounds like, and it was killing me. And I think that was whenever I had that dream about her. Like it was at Melena's Tacos, and I was there. I knew where I was at. I knew the setup. I knew everything. I was like, why am I at Melena's Tacos? Why am I at this one where my mom went? And I saw, I forgot who it was. I forgot her name. Started with a K. Carla, Christina.
Carla
It was Carla. It was Carla. Carla Barlow. That's right. And she was all like, "Hey, Steven," like, and she was like, and then she said, "Sandra, like, your son's here." And I was like, "Wait, what? What? I don't understand. What? I don't understand." And then I saw her come out, it's safe as it doesn't sound safe, but she was holding both the boys.
Oh man.
And that was whenever I think the boys were, already won, a little bit over one. But Ricardo and Sebastian were like looking at her and smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, I was like, Mom, like I knew the boys were there, but I was so excited to see her."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I just want you to know that no matter where I am, even though I'm not on Earth with you, I'm still their grandma." Yeah. And they know it. And they kept looking at her like she was the most beautiful thing, and she was.
Yeah.
And they just knew, and I was all like, "Can I hug you?" And she's like, "Of course." And I hugged her, and that's whenever I woke up. And
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I remember her voice now."
Yeah.
I remember her voice, and I think she was just letting me know that she was there.
Yeah, whenever you needed her, she showed up, and even if it was in a dream, she showed up for you. So
yeah,
that sounds totally like her to do something like that.
Mm-hmm. And it was Melena's Tacos, like where she was always at, and where she would love to do.
Yeah,
and I was there. Like I guess it was like a comforting feeling, because every time I was there when she was working, I felt safe. I felt comforted. I knew my mom was there. I knew I was safe. I knew if I was hungry, she would give me food. And it was a really good dream. I still hold on to that dream. I feel like it was like about 4 years ago. Yeah.
That's a good dream. I haven't had a dream about your mom in a long time. I wish, I wouldn't mind having one, and I know she was looking out for me whenever I was going through all my stuff. So,
yeah, I like to think, even though and I remember you telling me this was scary, is that you don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And I told you, I don't know if you remember, I said, honestly, I think either God or my mom, some angel said, like, if he sees you, like if he remembers that you saw my mom, if you're in that state of remembering, of seeing my mom, seeing Theo Victor, seeing everybody that we lost, I honestly think you would have never left. And I don't blame you, because that was probably like the most beautiful thing to feel, to be surrounded by the people that you lost and you never thought you'd see again.
Yeah.
And you're there. And I think my mom or God either erased that part, even though it's as cruel as that sounds, they erased that part so you can come back. Or maybe she just told you, like, it's not your time.
Yeah.
Steven still needs you. The boys still need you. I need you there to watch them, because I'm not there. And I think that's probably what happened. And I think that I remember I was you were telling me that you were so scared that you didn't see anything, you don't remember anything. And I honestly think that was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because honestly I would have never left. I would have probably fought to stay there, to be with them.
That makes so much sense the way you say it like that now, because I know at that time I was pretty scared, and I didn't know what it meant, because I remember asking you, I said, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm not a good person? Does that mean that, you know,
that made me mad, because at first you said, am I not a good person? Was I in hell? And I was like, no, never. No, you don't say that again. You were not in hell. I think you were just in that state of peace, and it was so beautiful. And like I said, I think God or my mom or something, like, I don't know what it was. They took that memory out, because I know that you would have never left. I don't know, like I said, I don't think anybody would have, because that's so hard to go do. Like, that was probably going through, like, if I go back, will I be the same? How bad was it? Like, and will I be a vegetable? Will I not be able to walk? Will I not be able to talk?
Yeah.
You know, there's so much that fear, the scariness of it, but right there in that moment where you were at, there was none of that. And that was probably like the biggest decision that you had to make.
Yeah.
And you probably just don't remember it, because you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't even know I was out for 7 minutes. I think Uncle Steve asked me if I, you know, seen Grandpa or Sandra, your mom, and I go, what? What are you talking about? And like Raymond told him, hey, be quiet, don't say that, because I think once they took the ventilator out, he asked me, do you remember what happened? And I go, no. And so he had to break the news to me and tell me that I was not here for 7 minutes. And so I go, wow, I didn't know how to process that. But I will say this, that since I've been back, I've been trying to be a better person, and I've gone on my way to apologize to a lot of people that I know I was not a good person to, or not. I didn't treat them right. I mean, everybody that I think I'm still looking for a couple people that were like in my past, and I'm still gonna, I apologize to people that I felt that I didn't do nice things to, and one of them was one of your friends, and another one was a coworker that I work with that I just I couldn't stand. And like, I went back and I apologized to them, and I said, please forgive me. I'm a different person. And, so, that's just being said. I just want to make up. I'm here for a reason. So I'm just want to make up for whatever I did wrong. And, I know I'm not perfect, and, I'm just trying to be a better person. So,
and that's what me and Blair always tell you, that you were never a bad person. Those people in your life that you think that you did wrong or you didn't treat right, it's, they probably saw it as that. And, but you were able to recognize that you could have done a better job at treating them right. And I think that, it doesn't have to take death to realize that, but still, most people, if they were to give that opportunity, they probably wouldn't do it, and you're doing it.
Yeah,
you don't have to. If that's a reason to, that you were back, then I think it's more of you just still being here and selfish as it sounds, still taking care of me, because there's, even to this day, you're still taking care of me by just being here. You're still taking care of me, and you're taking care of the boys. You don't have to, but you do it because you love them, and you're that's the reason why you're here, is to just to spread that Bigfoot Bob love, and to do the podcast, and and to talk about this, because I'm pretty sure, again, there's people that have passed and came back, and they saw something, and there's probably people out there that didn't see it, and they don't have a voice to because either they're too afraid to accept they didn't see anything, or felt like they didn't see anything, but there's probably reasons for it. There's so much left for you to do here, and you're here, and I'm so happy that you're here.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, again, like, how far you come, because they kept saying, the doctors kept saying he won't be able to walk until, like, about a year, maybe two, and I'm all like, one obstacle after the other. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. And I just knew it was going to be a long journey, but it 6 months, right? 6 months.
It was under. I started walking. See, I got the GBS full blast on the 29th.
The 29th of May.
And then I started walking. I started walking September, so it's probably that's June, July, August, September.
Mm-hmm.
So I started walking. So under like 4.5 months.
Yeah, and I think you can call it what it is. Maybe we caught it early, but I think that's you. I think the GBS when it took you away for 7 minutes. I think it was like that was it. Like, and then you somehow, I don't know what. I try to ask God every night to maybe give me some type of dream of an answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I go, if you don't want to give me that and just accept that He's here, then I'll take it. And I'll still be curious. I hope you don't mind. I'll still be curious as to why. I'm always going to be curious, and I hope that doesn't anger you, But I'm still taking it as it is that He's still here, and one accomplishment as the other. Like, He's walking now. He got the stent out. You're cancer free. All that little stuff like that. Like, as much as it's like, it's not little, but it's like little victories.
Mm-hmm.
Because I already knew you didn't have cancer, and if you did, the 7 minutes of you being gone probably offset it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was probably the reason. That's another thing too. I told myself that was probably the reason why. Like, I was like, I have to take him for these 7 minutes so the body can just rid of the cancer. It's like, okay, it did its purpose. We're gone now, and he tricked. I don't know what he did on it.
Yeah,
I get excited at the same time because it's just fascinating that of all people, I know that there's heroes in this world. And then there's the unbreakable, like Bruce Willis. Here, you may not see yourself as a hero, but you're my hero, and you're unbreakable. You've done so much. You were unbreakable then as a child of what you went through that surgery, and you should honestly be a comic book character.
some people think I am, so I'm just kidding.
I think you are. If there is a MCU or DC universe, you're in it.
Well, I to be honest with you, I'm just happy I'm here for you. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see the boys. I'm happy to see Blair. I'm happy to see my family and my friends and my brothers, my sisters, my mom. Everybody. I'm just thrilled. I mean, because like I think Carol asked me today what I wanted for Christmas, and I told her I already have it. I'm walking. I'm ready to have it. You don't have to give me anything. I already got it. So
and then a 4K TV.
Yeah, I bought a 4K TV. So
yeah. Another thing that you didn't talk about was that you got COVID too.
Oh yeah, I got COVID. Like
we both got COVID
in September.
Yeah.
In September,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty bad, man. I know yours. I'm not sure if yours was it. Was it bad? I don't remember if it was. You had a hard time breathing, right?
I had a hard time breathing, and I was scared. And I don't think I told you this, but there was a moment there where I was like, this is I think it was like the third or fourth day, and I kept reading online, which I shouldn't have. That like the fifth or sixth day it gets worse,
Mm-hmm.
and I was already thinking, man, I'm probably gonna die. I'm probably gonna pass away in my sleep. So I shaved because I wanted to look like good for the funeral.
You goon.
I know. And I told everybody that at work, and they were like, "What? Well, no, like don't think that way." And I was like, "It's just been a tough year. Just give me a break. It's been a tough year."
Yeah.
So I said, and you're probably gonna be mad that I'm saying this, but I'm gonna say it. I thought for a moment, I was like, it was a sacrifice that I asked for you back.
Mm.
And I said, okay, well, if you're going to take me, and then you know what? Just take care of my boys. I know Robert's here, so I know he's going to take care of them. As selfish as that sounds. And I know you're probably going to be mad that I said that.
It is selfish. And
it is selfish, but I was mentally preparing myself. Like, man, the COVID thing it's scary, and it's real, and it's a little scary. And as I said that twice, I don't know why, but it's frightening to know that you have something that you know that people have passed away from.
Yeah.
And the chances of you being overweight and having diabetes and all that, it goes higher. So that's why I was scared. And Blair I think she had a little worse than me because she had the COVID, and then she had COVID pneumonia after that.
Yeah.
So she was out for like a month.
Yeah.
And luckily me, I just had, it was bad, but I'm going to say it was minor symptoms because I know it could have been worse.
Yeah, because I remember calling you every day and making sure you're okay, and then you were telling me, "Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine." And I go, "What the?" And so
Yeah.
I think I got it after you, and like I think with me, it just I had a fever for 3 days and it wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
Like I was walking around the house with like a wet rag on my head just to keep the temperature down. And
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't
but
walking then, so but anyway.
Yeah, but for some reason I wasn't scared for you. I was like, "Oh, he has COVID? Okay. All right. Well, he didn't come back from being gone for 7 minutes to get knocked down by COVID." So,
Yeah.
And yeah, so I knew whatever it was. I think on my second week, I knew. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna actually beat this naturally, without any vaccine, without any booster shot or anything. I'm gonna beat this sucker naturally. And then Blair was on almost the same boat. I kept being positive to her. She was, oh man, I didn't tell you. She was so worried about you. She was so worried
About me having COVID?
Yeah,
Wow.
because she's like, I don't think his lungs are like 100%, and it's going to take out his lungs. And I was like, okay, first of all, you're not going to put me in that position to worry again. I'm already worrying about myself right now.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I kept telling, I go, you're going to be fine. I'm going to be fine, even though I wasn't like, it took me a while to be on that positive side. But I kept reminding her that she's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I go, we're already on our second week, so we're good. We just got to we have to keep taking our vitamins. We got to take the elderberry, check our pulse rate and oxygen levels, and make sure we eat and stay hydrated, because we Instacarted the hell out of those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uber Eats, we Instacarted the hell out of it, like getting all the coconut water and Gatorade. And I think once you told me that you haven't got I think it was like the fourth day you haven't gotten a fever. I was like, okay, that's all. You had almost the same symptoms in the same time frame. Yeah. Or as me. Like on the first 3 days was terrible because you had the chills. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I had the chills and I had like 3 blankets on me. And
yeah, and that's whenever I knew it was real. That's why I was getting scared. I was like, man. And the one thing I know you can agree with is with COVID, it makes you tired. It makes you so sleepy.
Yeah, it does. And like,
not that you're weak, you're just tired.
Yeah. GBS makes you weak already. Mm-hmm. And I was still going through the symptoms. So I couldn't really tell if it was GBS or it was, COVID. So, but, I don't know. I don't know what blood type you are, because I know I'm O negative. And so, I was reading somewhere that, that people with rare blood tend to recover from COVID better than people with just regular blood. So I don't know. I kind of just felt it as that, but I was thinking the same thing you were. I go, man, I've been through. I had surgery for cancer. I had GBS. I go, I'm not going to get knocked down with this.
Yeah, no. So that's why I was like, for some reason I had that faith, and I'm so glad I did then, because I was really, really, really weak and tired from having the COVID. Yeah, I was like, for some reason I was not worried about you, because I knew you were going to be okay. It's just, for some reason I was worried about myself. I was like, man,
that's good. You should worry about yourself, and I'm glad you. I mean, I wish you'd have told me it, but dang,
I didn't want to scare you. I did not want to scare you.
I had a feeling you were not telling me the truth, but I didn't want to say anything to you. So
yeah, and I'm sorry that I lied to you.
It's okay.
We do that to each other all the time, and we need to stop doing that. Yeah. You were at such a good state, and I just didn't want to hinder that progress of where you're at. You're already walking, and You were a phoenix. You were a walking phoenix. Look at you.
Yeah, I think we're about a minute and 59 seconds in.
Oh, yeah, we did it. 2 hours.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure when you edit and cut it, it's going to be shorter. But
yeah, it will. But I think what we're ending up doing, I think I'm gonna make this into 2 episodes.
yeah, there you go.
So I think what I'm really proud of is that that we had support for one another, and and because I wanted, like, everybody was asking me, hey, are you gonna do a podcast? And I said, I want to worry about myself first. Let me recover first, and then because like Raymond wanted to set up the podcast stuff, like I'm thinking like in August, like in the next room, and I said no, I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on me getting better, walking, blah blah blah. And so with me walking, going back to work, and I got released by my doctor, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm pretty excited about where we're going from here, because I know Juan's not here right now, but he will be a part of the show, and I'm looking to do more stuff with Matt. We're going to be doing some stuff with Matt Knapp and Bigfoot Crossroads. We're going to do some crossover shows, and I want to get I got to get Billy Simmons on.
Yes,
I got to get Luke back on. There's some other people. I think I'm going to get a buddy of mine. I was telling you about him, Logan Kraft. He does his own podcast. I think it's called Logan versus Kenny, and then he does one called 3 Minutes, and I think he's helping out with another podcast. But anyway, he's a good dude. I've listened to some of his stories. He's got some amazing stories, and so I'm really excited about where we're gonna go. I do want to talk about our website. So Matt Knapp's got our website up, and everybody, please go to it. www.bigfootclubpodcast.com. And our merch is up on there now. So please buy some merch. Check it out. Check out our bios. You can listen to our podcast on there, or you can listen to us on any platform. We're on all the platforms. So YouTube, Alexa, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, iTunes, we're all Google Play. We're everywhere. So please check us out. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Give us a subscription. We need it. We need your support, and tell us how we're doing with the show. I know this show right now is not about Bigfoot, not about the paranormal, but we just want to tell everybody what was going on with me, because I know the last time I put out a show was in May, and there's been a big gap. So this is the reason why the big gap's there. So, and I'm thankful for Steven being on the show, and I'm excited about Juan being on the show. So, it's just a lot of stuff that's upcoming, and I'm really, really excited about getting started. So, because right now we're at 30,000 downloads. And so when I got sick, we were at 23,000. And without doing a show, we've had downloads, still continue. So, and I'm pretty happy about that. So anyway, so you got anything else to add?
No, I just piggyback on the whole, like the website. We're excited that it's the show is where it's at now. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get. I think it's already better.
Yeah.
But it's only going to get better. And we're just going to look and find many ways to get, more people that don't have a voice. And we're still going to talk about paranormal stuff. We're still going to talk about, this alone right here, this episode is, you can say it is paranormal because of what you went through.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add on to, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I wanted to add on to was like, I was down for 7 minutes. I haven't been to an area that I don't know if I'm going to be able to, like, I'm going to have some kind of ability or something. I don't know that. I don't know if I'm going to sense stuff now since, like, I crossed over and came back. I don't know. To me, it's a little scary because I don't know. I haven't experienced anything yet, but it's, we'll see. down the road and see how that goes.
We'll definitely see how that goes, because I was a little worried about that, because that's always a thing that you bring back. But like I said, like before, I think Mom and all the angels and God just knew what they were doing. They knew. They just knew. So with the show, you're back on the show. We're doing the show again, and I guess I wouldn't say rebranding, but just a new.
Rebranding.
A new co-host, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for Juan, because I know Juan has a lot of stories too.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of stories that you weren't able to cover with him on the times that you had him on the show.
He's such a character. And his shows alone are like because I broke his shows off in two, and it's like almost like 1,600 downloads for his show. And like, man, that's I think the second person that got more downloads was Brett Carson, the Casual Medium. And he's got like over, I think, 1,200 downloads, and like he was probably, to me, he's my most favorite guest. No, I shouldn't say that, because Luke's gonna get mad. So, but he was like, I was excited. Do you remember how excited it was to talk to him?
Yeah. And like, I know he was very nervous too, but he broke out. He found his voice, and he's got a good voice, and he, like I said, he's got a lot to say, a lot to tell, and I'm glad that he's a part of the team, and I'm real excited where it's going to go.
Yeah, I am too. So I think we're going to leave it at that, and we'll be doing another show pretty soon. I want to do a show on the Book of Boba Fett, and then we're going to see Spider-Man tomorrow. We'll probably talk about that. So we can go off that. So anyway, thanks for being on, Steven. And I know this was, kind of tough to relive the past, but it's something I think we needed to talk about and let our fans know that where we've been and where we're going. So,
it was painful, but it's always therapeutic to let it out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we did that, and we can talk about it. We'll bring it up later on in the season. But, I'm glad that we were able to let it out and kind of put it behind us and focus on the future.
All right. Well, that being said, we can say good night and good luck.